Hello and welcome to Kashmir Now. I'm your host Shreya Savijay. Let's take a look at some stories of this week's episode. Poor roads, load shedding and slow internet services, the major roadblocks in the GB's tourism sector, authorities pay no heed. Locals in illegally occupied Gilgit-Baltistan allege corruption in Pakistan's Green Initiative. Srinagar's Tulip Garden blossoms in full glory. Music festival adds to its charm. Work under the Saubhagya scheme going on in full swing in Jammu and Kashmir. And later, we'll take you to immerse in the celebration of Hund Festival, observed by the Manipur's Thadao tribe in a special edition of Incredible India. Gilgit-Baltistan, the region under the illegal occupation of Pakistan, is not just subjected to economic depredation, but also state-backed discriminatory policies. Even after being largely responsible for meeting the needs of Pakistan, the region is barely returned the favour. Recently, the GB correspondent of the Pakistan's largest and oldest English newspaper, Dawn, highlighted the plights of the region, which is even devoid of basic amenities. We have a report.
Blessed with abundance of natural beauty, the illegally occupied territory of Gilgit-Baltistan is one of the most captivating places to visit on earth. If the tourism potential of the region is tapped, then it can alone meet all the economic needs of the entire population. But to its dismay, neither the government nor the authorities are interested in the region's infrastructural development. Every mode of communication is in shambles. Internet service, which has become the foremost requirement among the tourists, is very slow in the region. Tourists have to rely on the local telecom service provider SCO, also known as ESCOM, but it too is also not efficient and is limited to only particular areas of the region. Recently, in a webinar, while highlighting the telecommunication problems, the Gilgit-Baltistan correspondent of Dawn newspaper said, in order to use internet services in the region, the tourist had to buy SCO SIM card first, which is too much of a hassle.
बड़ा जो इशू है यहाँ पर वो कम्युनिकेशन का है, चाहे वो टेलीफोन कम्युनिकेशन हो या रोड कम्युनिकेशन हो, हर यानी जो कम्युनिकेशन का निजाम है वो यहाँ पे खराब ही चले आया है। और दूसरा, जो इंटरनेशनल हो या लोकल हो या नेशनल हो, जो भी टूरिस्ट आते हैं तो सबसे पहले उनकी जो रिक्वायरमेंट होती है वो इंटरनेट की होती है। इंटरनेट तो यहाँ पर तो अवेलेबल है नहीं, यहाँ तक कि इस सदी में भी प्राइवेट सेलुलर कंपनीज को 3G 4G का जो है वो लाइसेंसेस नहीं दिए गए हैं, वो ऑपरेट नहीं कर सकते हैं, और यहाँ पर टोटली SCO के 4G पे इंसार करते हैं, तो वो तो बिल्कुल ही महदूद इलाके के महदूद लोगों के लिए है। अब नए आने वाले एक नया सिम लेंगे और फिर उनकी सर्विस भी उस तरह की नहीं है, ये एक अलग सा इशू है। और टोटली जो है एक ही इवन PTCL यहाँ तक नहीं है, और PTCL के बजाय हम SCO पे डिपेंड करते हैं। ये तो इशू है ही है।
Another obstacle in tourism sector of Gilgit-Baltistan is poorly maintained roads. While few roads remain blocked for weeks, many have become death trap for the commuters due to their appalling condition. Moreover, if foreign tourists want to come by a flight, then there are only domestic airports in the region, hindering them from visiting Gilgit-Baltistan.
दूसरा, रोड कम्युनिकेशन का, अब आप देख लें कि अब KKH एक दफा बंद हो जाए तो वो हफ्ते हफ्ते बंद रहता है, और KKH लाइफ लाइन है, और लाइफ लाइन जब बंद हो जाता है तो पूरा जो है GB कट के रह जाता है। टूरिस्ट जो है कई हफ्ते फंस के रहते हैं। फ्लाइट्स की सूरत हाल ये कि वो हफ्ते में एक आध फ्लाइट तो होती है, लेकिन वो मौसम की वजह से कभी फ्लाइट ही नहीं हुई। टोटली इस्लामाबाद टू गिलगित या सिकरदू फ्लाइट से होना तो ये चाहिए कि टूरिस्ट को एक्सेस बनाने के लिए इन इलाकों में ज्यादा से ज्यादा रोड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बनाए, कम्युनिकेशन का निजाम तेज करे और फ्लाइट्स जो है सिस्टम बना ले। लाहौर से, कराची से इंटरनेशनल फ्लाइट्स की ऑपरेशनल को मुमकिन बना सकते हैं। डायरेक्टली सिकरदो आने वाले सिकरदो आ जाएंगे, गिलगित आने वाले गिलगित आ जाएंगे।
In case tourists ignore the problem of poor roads and slow internet services, then load shedding will definitely lead them on to pack their bags and go back. No one will ever want to spend their vacations at a place that faces around 20 hours of load shedding. It's quite ironic that even after being the hub of hydropower generation, the region suffers long and persistent power outages. Authorities that work under the commands of Islamabad have been able to do nothing so far to get the region out of this situation.
बिजली पे ही आपका सारा कम्युनिकेशन निजाम भी है, मोबाइल चार्ज से लेके लाइटिंग से लेके हीटिंग से लेके एवरीथिंग। लेकिन बदकिस्मती ये है कि इस इलाके में खासकर गिलगित बल्तिस्तान में आज भी 20-20 घंटे की जो है लोड शेडिंग है। और यानी कम्युनिकेशन अगर थोड़ा बहुत आपके पास अगर है कम्युनिकेशन तो बिजली के ना होने से वो तो ऑलरेडी बैठ जाता है। इस वक्त गिलगित बल्तिस्तान में 20-20 घंटे की लोड शेडिंग है और खासकर विंटर्स में यहाँ तो बिल्कुल है ही नहीं। अब हुंजा जैसे इलाके में तो 22-22 घंटे की जो है लोड शेडिंग है। तो इस टाइम पे कौन जो है सरवाइव कर सकता है, क्या इस पे निजाम बन सकता है? तो ये एक बहुत बड़ा मसला है। नहीं जो है होटल का निजाम, होटल में जो है लाइट का निजाम होता है, न कोई दूसरा सिस्टम, बिजली से कनेक्ट है एवरीथिंग। तो सबसे बड़ा फैक्टर ये है कि यहाँ पर बिजली का नाकिस निजाम है और आज तक ठीक नहीं हो सका।
If developed properly, Gilgit-Baltistan would have been figuring high on tourist itineraries today. But unmetalled roads, unavailability of internet and electricity issues have just turned it into a neglected, backward and poor region of southern Asia.
Moving on, the authorities in illegally occupied Gilgit-Baltistan are just concerned about filling their own coffers rather than focusing on the development of the region. As a result, time and again, people have to expose their corrupt practices. Recently, locals accused the Agricultural Department of the region for the embezzlement of funds of the Clean and Green Pakistan initiative.
For the last 7 decades, illegally occupied Gilgit-Baltistan has been suffering at the hands of corrupt administration. Their latest act of deception came into limelight when the plants granted to the people of region under Pakistan's Green Initiative were found to be dry and lifeless. Recently, at a press conference, a local resident accused the Agriculture Department of Gilgit-Baltistan for the embezzlement of funds of the Clean and Green Pakistan initiative. He further said that this process has been going on for past many years, but nothing has been done to curb this corruption.
जो ग्रीन पाकिस्तान के तहत पौधे तकसीम किया, फलदार पौधे, बादाम, खुबानी, चीरी, दूसरे आड़ू, ये बहुत सारे पौधे, मेरे ख्याल में करोड़ों रुपए की मालियत होगी, करोड़ों रुपए की इस गिलगित बल्तिस्तान में। जब ये पौधे हमें मिला, ये सारे बेजान और खुशक पौधे, और ये अमल महकमा ज़राअत का कहीं सालों से जारी है। लिहाजा हम इसके खिलाफ अगर आवाज नहीं उठाएंगे तो ये सिलसिला जारी रहेगा और गरीब जिम्मेदार पिसते जाएंगे।
Gilgit-Baltistan would have grown economically as well as become visually appealing if good quality plants had been provided to the people. But it's quite unfortunate that concerned officials have over the years given contracts only to their near and dear ones who know nothing about agriculture sector.
यहाँ के ये अनपढ़ ज़रई अफसरान जिनको ज़राअत के बारे में अलिफ बे का पता नहीं है, लाकर पौधे ऐसे पौधे खरीदते हैं। वे पौधे खरीदने के लिए डायरेक्टर को खुद जाना चाहिए, पौधे खरीदने के लिए अपने साथ माहिरीन को ले जाना चाहिए, वहां जाकर उस फार्म में एग्जाम पूछना चाहिए। चुपचाप डिमांड होते हैं, चुपचाप ठेके होते हैं। अब यासीन में जितने पौधे, ये तो एक यासीन की मैं बात करता हूँ, मेरे ख्याल में पूरे गिलगित बल्तिस्तान पर ये है कि सारे पौधे सूखे तक और नाकिस पौधे हैं। मैं चैलेंज करता हूं जिस फोरम में मुझे ले जाए, मैं इसके एहतिसाब चाहता हूं।
Alleged corruption and ignorance in the system has become a major challenge in the growth of Gilgit-Baltistan. The apathetic attitude of the authorities along with the misrule of Islamabad has just pushed the region to complete oblivion.
Next we move to Jammu and Kashmir, whose famous Tulip Garden has opened its gates for people to experience the nature's beauty at its best. Several new arrangements have been done by the authorities this time, along with hosting a 2-day music festival, which was just like an icing on the cake. Have a look.
A perfect destination for Bollywood filmmakers, the renowned Indira Gandhi Memorial Tulip Garden in Srinagar is beauty personified. Formerly known as Siraj Bagh, the garden is located in the heart of the city and is sandwiched between Zabarwan Hills and picturesque Dal Lake. At the moment, tourists are landing in Kashmir to soak their senses in the vibrant hues of tulips that are blooming in full glory.
एक तो ट्यूलिप गार्डन इज अ वेरी स्पेशल प्लेस क्योंकि ये साल में बस कुछ ही महीनों के लिए खुलता है, सो इट्स एक्सट्रीमली स्पेशल एंड ऐसे फेस्टिवल्स आई थिंक कश्मीर में बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट हैं क्योंकि दे ब्रिंग अबाउट अ सेंस ऑफ नॉर्मलसी, दे प्रमोट टूरिज्म एंड इट ऑल्सो ब्रिंग्स अबाउट अ सेंस ऑफ कम्युनिटी, सब साथ मिलके एंजॉय करें, सेलिब्रेट करें. सो आई थिंक दिस सॉर्ट ऑफ इनिशिएटिव इज वेरी वेलकम.
This year, more than 15 lakh tulips of 62 varieties have blossomed in this Asia's largest tulip garden, which is spread across an area of over 30 hectares. Daffodils, hyacinths, narcissus and other ornamental plants have also been planted to ornate the area, along with adding more green spaces for the comfort of tourists. Visitors can even avail the benefits of surplus facilities like free Wi-Fi, more fountains and drinking points while enjoying the surreal view and rhapsody of colors.
हमें बहुत ही अच्छा लग रहा है यहाँ आके, एक रिलैक्स जिसे कहते हैं ना, रूह एक ताज़ा हो गई यहाँ आके, ऐसे वापस वो चीज देखने के लिए जिसके लिए हर एक तड़पता है कि कश्मीर आए, टूलिप गार्डन देख ले और हर किसी से मिले. यहाँ पे कश्मीर को जन्नत के कहते ही है, तो आइए सब लोग आइए. टूरिज्म को भी हम कह रहे हैं कि प्रमोट करो, ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोग आ जाएं यहाँ पे, कश्मीर के लोगों से मिले और हमारी खूबसूरती देखें.
The 2-day music festival held inside the premises of the garden provided yet another delightful experience. Several singers, including local ones from the Union Territory, performed some fabulous numbers, enthralling the audience. Organized by the Tourism and Floriculture Department, the event was thrown open by Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha in the presence of Kerala Governor Arif Muhammad Khan. During the event, Sinha said that more destinations will be opened soon to promote tourism in the Union Territory.
टूरिज्म का बजट भी हमने बढ़ाया है और नए डेस्टिनेशन डेवलप करने के लिए हम कोशिश करने वाले हैं और मुझे लगता है कि और भी अनेक ऐसे नए डेस्टिनेशन हैं जिनको हम डेवलप करेंगे तो देश और दुनिया के लोग आएंगे. ट्रैकिंग के लिए भी 11 स्थानों को हमने खोला है. इस दिशा में अनेक प्रयत्न हम कर रहे हैं।
Stealing the show and hearts of many was the performance by renowned singer and rapper Badshah. He treated the audience to a number of hits, drawing huge applause and whistles from them. Spectators clicked the singer on their phones so that they can cherish this moment throughout their life.
बहुत खुशी मिली है कि आज इतना बड़ा जश्न था, बहुत ही अच्छा लगा। लोकल भी है, यहाँ लोग टूरिस्ट भी है और हजारों में लोग हैं। काफी अच्छा लगा पहली बार कि टूरिज्म ने ऐसा फेस्टिवल किया यहाँ पे टूलिप गार्डन में। इससे बहुत ही अच्छा लगा और भी टूरिस्ट आएंगे, लोकल आएंगे। बहुत उम्मीद थी हमें इस साल के लिए, लेकिन हमें खुशी है वो उम्मीद अब पूरी हो गई।
Opened annually for a month at the beginning of spring, Tulip Garden not just lends an ethereal atmosphere to the valley, but also a host of entertainment and employment opportunities as well.
Under the centrally sponsored Saubhagya scheme, a number of villages, even the remotest ones in Jammu and Kashmir, are getting electrified. The work is going on in full swing, and soon every household in the Union Territory will have an electricity connection. Lately, the scheme ended an era of darkness from the lives of villagers living in the most far-flung areas of Jammu district. The children in the remotest areas of Jammu and Kashmir are now able to study even in the evening hours, as electricity has now lit up their homes. All thanks to the centrally sponsored Saubhagya scheme, under which each and every household across the country is getting electrified.
ये जो उजाला जो सौभाग्य स्कीम जो माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने पर्टिकुलर जो हिली एरिया थे जहां पर बिजली पहुंचाना बड़ा दिक्कत था, बड़ा मुश्किल था, लेकिन हजारों कठिनाइयों के बाद भी पीडीडी के एम्प्लॉइज ने पब्लिक से कंधा मिला के मेहनत से वहां पे पोल पहुंचाए, वहां पे मटेरियल पहुंचाया। और जो नामुमकिन चीज थी, जो लगती थी कि इतनी पहाड़ियों पर बिजली कैसे पहुंचेगी, वहां तक बिजली पहुंचाने में हम लोग कामयाब रहे।
Lately, around 100 households got electrified across Barmani village that falls under the Green Belt subdivision of Jammu district. In total, around 25,000 households in the far-flung areas of Jammu district have been provided with free electricity connection so far under Saubhagya scheme. Villagers in these areas are extremely happy as the availability of electricity has made their lives quite easier.
यहाँ ये सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की स्कीम थी, उसके तहत ये बिजली का काम हुआ और इसके लिए हम दाद देते हैं डिपार्टमेंट को भी और बाकी यहाँ के लोकल नौजवानों को भी। और अच्छी स्कीम थी ये जिसका लोगों ने फायदा उठाया। अब लोग काफी खुश हैं इसके लिए, इस स्कीम से काफी फायदा हुआ लोगों को।
Known as Pradhan Mantri Sahaj Bijli Har Ghar Yojana, Saubhagya scheme was launched in 2017 with a motive to provide electricity to all Indian households, laying special focus on rural and far-flung areas. Under the scheme, certain households are identified via the socio-economic and caste census of 2011 and free electricity connections are given while others are charged 500 rupees. In Jammu and Kashmir, a total of 3,57,405 households were provided with electricity under Saubhagya scheme till August 2020. Special electrification vehicles called Saubhagya Rath were also launched by Jammu and Kashmir Power Development Department in all the 20 districts to rule out the possibility of any household remaining unelectrified. Besides, mobile apps like Gram Jyoti Doot, Urja Vistar were also devised by the department for fast-track release of power connections.
गवर्नमेंट ने घर घर तक उजाला हुआ। खास तौर मैं उन लोगों को मुबारकबाद देता हूं, उन बच्चों को मुबारकबाद देता हूं जिन्होंने दिए की लो में, जिसको बोलते हैं दीपक जला के उसमें ऑयल डाल के, वहां कैंडल्स भी नहीं होती उन विलेजेस में, उन लोगों को वो एंजॉय कर रहे हैं। असल में उन लोगों को इस चीज का फायदा मिला।
Jammu and Kashmir has registered a phenomenal progress under Saubhagya scheme despite tough geographical terrain, snowbound topography, scattered households, close proximity to the international border and limited working season. And the way the authorities have been working, soon the territory will be able to achieve 100% electrification. Next, we move on to our section of Incredible India, where today we'll take you to witness the celebrations of the biggest cultural festival of Manipur's Thado tribe at the state's Kangpokpi town. Popularly known as Hun, the festival celebrates the rich heritage and traditions of Thado, which forms the second largest tribe in the state after Meitei.
Located about 45 km north of the capital city, Imphal, Kangpokpi is one of the most cleanest and picturesque towns of Manipur. Mainly inhabited by Thadao people, the town also plays host to Hun, the biggest cultural festival of the tribe. Celebrating the germination and sprouting of seeds sown in the fields that bring forth new leaves of life and hope, the festival was organized with the theme My Culture, My Identity this year.
It is a cultural and traditional heritage passed down by our forefathers like agriculture products. Let us also sow and reap our success through the hard work and dedication. As our theme, My Culture, My Identity. So I am very proud to call myself a true Thado Chanu because I keep my own Thado identity and cultural values intact. All identities are guided and guarded by certain cultural values which are shown in the form of our beliefs, practices, rituals, ceremonies, art and literature, tradition, customs, etc.
Decked in traditional attire, both girls and boys of Thadao tribe mesmerized the audience with their amazing dance moves during the event. Celebrating the rich heritage of the tribe, the festival was organized by Thadao Cultural Festival Committee under the aegis of Thadao NP, the apex body of the community. Signing time and season, Hun is also believed to be the time for people to acknowledge the existence of God and contribution of women in the society.
It is also a time when a family conducts religious acts so as to acknowledge the existence of God, the Creator, and firmly affirm the belief in him. Good celebrations will also include acknowledgement of women folk for their hard work, bringing up the family and toiling hard in the paddy field. And on this occasion, the hard work of the women folk will be blessed by a priest.
The most interesting part of Hun 2021 was the beauty and brain competition among the Thadao youth, through which Mr. and Mrs. Thadao were chosen. Wearing traditional Manipuri costumes designed by the local designers, men and women walked the ramp with confidence, leaving the spectators spellbounded. Also known as Spring Festival, Hun also provides an opportunity to the people of Thadao tribe to bond with each other.
This Hun festival is an important festival of the Thadao tribe, which we believe that celebrating this Hun will strengthen the bond of the brotherhood in the Manipur state. This festival also gives us the opportunity to examine our past and also to plan for the future. So I would love to celebrate this festival with a lot of joy, enjoyment with family and friends.
Held for just 2 days, when it was officially celebrated at the state level for the first time in April 2016, today Hun has expanded to a period of 7 days and has become a platform to bring peace and unity.
That's all we have for you in this week's episode. Till we see you next week, it's goodbye from the entire production team.
कोरोना वायरस जैसी वबा से बचने के लिए बिना कैश लेन देन को तरजीह दें। घर वापसी पर अपनी घड़ी, मोबाइल, पर्स और चाबियों वगैरह को डिसइंफेक्ट करें। बुखार, सांस लेने में तकलीफ और खांसी होने की सूरत में बिला ताखीर नजदीकी तिब्बी मरकज का रुख करें। कोविड मुतासरीन या इस वबा का मुकाबला करने में पेश रहने